Jack keeps seeing the same statistic everywhere. The average Australian has this much saved. Tonight, he finally decided to check where he actually stands. Jack is 32. Solid job, no complaints. But if you asked him, are you doing okay financially compared to everyone else? He genuinely wouldn't know how to answer. So tonight, he's pulling up every number he has, savings, super, debt, and comparing them to real Australian data. Live. No cherry picking the good bits. I'm Kellen from Wealth Foundation. Let's watch this comparison happen, and I promise the result isn't quite what Jack expected. Let's go. Here's the number everyone's seen floating around. The average Australian has $42,246 in savings. Jack's stomach dropped a little just reading that. Jack typed in his own savings figure. He's not going to tell us the number just yet, but he winced a little. Before we reveal how he compares, there's something important about that $42,000 figure that most people comparing themselves to it don't actually know. Here's Jack's number. $18,000 in savings. Compared to the $42,000 average, his first reaction was that he's miles behind. His shoulders dropped a bit. I thought I was doing okay, he said. But hold on, before we let that number sit there, there's a crucial detail missing. Kellen here. Before Jack spirals, I need to explain something. That $42,000 average isn't actually what most Australians have, and here's why. There are two very different numbers that get called the average. The average, adding everyone up and dividing by the total. And the median, the number right in the middle if you lined everyone up in order. Here's the problem. A small number of very wealthy people can pull the average way up, even if most people have much less. For Australians in their 20s, the average savings is $22,000 to $28,000. But the median, just $8,000 to $12,000. Which means the number Jack should actually be comparing himself to isn't $42,000. It's a much more honest, much more achievable figure. For someone Jack's age, the median Australian savings figure sits far closer to what he actually has. Jack's $18,000? That's not miles behind. That's actually right around where a typical person his age sits. Jack actually laughed out loud. So the scary number everyone quotes isn't even the real benchmark? Exactly. And this is where it gets even more interesting, because savings is only one part of the picture. Next, superannuation. Jack typed in his balance. The ATO's median figure for someone in their early 30s sits at around $40,000. Jack's actual super balance, $35,000. Close to the median, genuinely tracking alongside a typical Australian his age. But there's a bigger question than am I average? It's whether Jack and you are actually on track for the retirement you want. That's a different number entirely. This is where it gets useful. ASFA, the peak body for superannuation, publishes on-track targets. At age 40, you'd want around $178,000 in super to be on pace for a comfortable retirement. For Australians nearing retirement, 60 to 64, the typical super balance sits at only around a quarter to a third of the $630,000 target needed for a genuinely comfortable retirement. This isn't about scaring anyone. It's about knowing the real target, not just whether you match a national average, so you can actually plan towards something meaningful. One more number. Jack still has HECS debt like nearly 3 million other Australians. The average outstanding balance is $27,739. Jack's HECS balance, $22,000. Slightly below the national figure, and honestly, right in line with millions of other Australians quietly paying theirs down in the background. So here's the honest takeaway. Normal isn't a single scary headline number. It's a median figure most people never see, and even that number matters less than your own trajectory. Someone with less saved than average, but building a genuine habit and trending upward is in a completely different position than someone with more saved, but no forward momentum at all. Comparison can be useful context. It should never be a verdict on whether you're doing okay. So, back to Jack. Spreadsheet full, numbers all compared. How does he feel now, compared to when he opened that blank spreadsheet? Genuinely fine. Not because his numbers were perfect, because he finally knew what he was actually being compared to, and it turned out to be a far kinder benchmark than he expected. He's not behind. He's just a normal person, figuring it out, same as almost everyone else quietly doing the same thing. If you've ever felt behind after reading a scary, average Australian headline, now you know the fuller picture. You're probably a lot more normal than the headlines make you feel. If this helped, subscribe. Every Monday, Kellen breaks down what's actually happening with your money in plain English. I'm Kellen. Take care of your money, because nobody else will.